Are you too busy for Jesus? My child, the attachment to me in my work on earth is vital for mine to bear fruit. Mine cannot bear abundant and good fruit without communion with me, my Father, and my Spirit. For abundance of fruit is required in order that my kingdom grows. True faith will produce abundant fruit. When one properly cares for a tree, it produces fruit. If, however, one neglects to feed and water a tree, the fruit becomes sparse, barren, and even death of a tree can occur. My child, to bear much fruit is to glorify my Father. Many attempts at bearing fruit are non-existent. Bearing fruit grows one's faith. Bearing fruit is essential, and it always has been. He who bears fruit is wise. He who wins souls is wise. The reluctance to bear fruit for my kingdom is often rooted in fear, not faith, that I will produce good fruit when mine stay attached to me. This reluctance can only be rooted in a false belief that I will not accomplish through mine that which I set out to do. When one is reluctant to speak the things of me, one is not understanding the power within them to speak and act upon my word. These things have not changed since the beginning. The worries of life and the busyness thereof often interfere with the leading of my spirit. The reluctance of possible retribution for conveying my truth often stops one of mine from action of my spirit. The fear of man in his retribution can also stop one of mine from bearing fruit. My child, when one of mine looks at another through the eyes of me, one cannot resist to convey the truth of me. The closer one's relationship with me, the more fruit one will bear. My child, many are sick and hurting and searching. Many hearts are longing for truth, yet mine and man's enemy will use old tactics and new to stifle my spirit's work in mine if they are not strongly connected to me and my leading. One must initiate and comply to allowance of the leading of my spirit in order to be fruitful. One cannot recognize the leading of my spirit without spending time with me. In order to spend viable time with me, one must lay down what encumbers time away from me. Often time with me is not a priority in the lives of my own. The cares and worries of this world and the thoughts of what necessitates each day guide man's heart and mind. Rather, when one commits to my leading his way in his day, his time will be better spent in me and through me. There will be a switch to prioritize, always seeking my will over his, my ways over man's ways, and my priorities for well-spent time rather than man spending time superfluously and without effectual bearing of fruit in one's life. Man must evaluate priorities in his life and assess time spent on that which is valuable and that which is not. For one's time is limited, and one's time is valuable when spent properly. Time well spent leads to a life that is fulfilling and fruitful, allowing my spirit to lead one's day in these things necessary to bring about fruition of growth in me, and my purpose and plan for one's life can only be attained if one makes proper time with his days here on earth. Many, my child, have plans and hopes and dreams that are from me, put in their heart by me, but neglect to pursue these things because their time is unwisely spent in other areas. Yet, if they would prioritize their time and put me first, many's hopes and dreams would be realized, by the direction and guidance of my spirit. When one's time is directed by me, one will always pursue that which is from me, and his life will be filled with a sense of realization of time well spent on that which matters here and in heaven. There will also be peace with that. Satan uses distraction as a strategy to pull one out of spending essential time with me and prioritizing one's day by my Spirit's leading. My child, many things my church spends valuable time doing is not valuable to them or to others in any way. In fact, the opposite is beginning to become a pattern in many lives, as much time is being spent on things that draw one out of my will, my purpose, and my plan. Mine are seeking that which cannot be fulfilling without the leading of my Spirit.